Yeah, I know I look like an elongated Pepsi can for some reason, but sure, soon enough you'll know why I'm wearing this. So when I was 4 months old, total kidding, I'm not going there. No one would remember anyway when they were 4 months old. So my story actually starts in the present. It takes place today, and specifically in the here and now. So, in the here and now, a paradox dominates the global food scene. Despite the high and alarming levels of malnutrition and hunger, we can see that non-sustainable food practices are still being adopted. Huge amount of food waste are being produced, and at the same time, a shameful, immoral imbalance of food distribution is taking place. All right, just a sec. Sorry. The solution, ironically, to this paradox lies within the paradox itself. All you have to do is to read between the lines. What we need is to waste less good food, to adopt more sustainable food practices, and also to try and reestablish that moral balance of food distribution. So how did we wind up here? Surprisingly, annually, around 1.3 billion tons of food is lost or waste around the globe. That's equal to 1/3 of all the food that we produce globally. And ironically, it's also equal to 4 times the amount of food that is needed to feed all 866 million malnourished individuals around the world. These 866 million malnourished, out of which 4% annually die due to lack of nourishment, as opposed to the 1.5 billion overweight individuals, which also happen to perish, but due to different reasons, which are diseases related to obesity. This is on a global, This is globally speaking. I come from Lebanon, a really small country in the Middle East, basically the smallest. And I want to talk about Lebanon because it's more relevant to me. And after I looked globally, I tried to see what's happening in Lebanon. On the one hand, in Lebanon, around 63 to 95% of the millions of tons of food waste that are generated are organic in their nature. On the other hand, 30% of the population is living under the poverty line, which means that they are at the risk of suffering from food poverty as well as hunger. And 10% of these 30% are living in extreme poverty conditions. So these alarming numbers and figures pushed me and 2 of my friends to co-found, I know I'm not that professional stripper, I'm sorry. This is so hard. To co-found foodblessed. My name is Terro, and I know, it's so hard. And this is just the start. Kidding. So my name is Terro, and me and 2 of my friends, we co-founded foodblessed. Foodblessed is a local hunger relief initiative that feeds people 1 meal at a time, and it works on linking food donors to food recipients by focusing on 2 major concepts, which are food rescue or food recovery, and the social responsibility of every individual, company, and the whole of the community. And the best part about foodblessed is that it is purely run by volunteers. And at foodblessed, we think, or we believe, that the only way to fight food poverty and alleviate hunger is by cultivating a new generation of heroes. Okay, sorry. I'm pathetic, I'm sorry. Wait. This is how they do it. Right, done? I'm sorry. I promise this is the last thing I'm taking off today, so I swear. So yeah, we believe that heroes don't necessarily need to have superpowers. They have to have a strong passion and will to end hunger, and they can rescue loads of lives by just rescuing food. So I'm a food blesser. I rescue lives every day. I bless people in need with food that otherwise would go to waste. And at Food Blessed, we believe that deep down, every food blesser is a hunger hero. How do we rescue lives? Hunger heroes rescue lives by, we always do fun activities. We host food drives, we run fun drives, we contribute to and volunteer at local soup kitchens, local food banks, and at central kitchens in NGOs and religious entities. We spread awareness in the communities where we are, especially on the topics of food waste and food rescue. And on a personal level, we aim to cut down our personal amounts of food waste. Number 13 is one of my favorite tips on how to cut down your food waste. It says, give it. As in, if you got surplus food, don't throw it away, just give it to those who are in need. So how did we do it? To date, we have food blessed more than 150,000 individuals in need in a period that is less than 2 years. It was not easy, it was really worth it and noteworthy. And this is why today I stand before you to share with you what we at Food Blessed had in terms of experiences, lessons learned. One lesson we learned was from observing others. We observed that ready-made one-size-fits-all solutions do not actually work for everyone. One example are the cash crops in Mexico and the aftermath of one they were taken into consideration. Another thing is that quick fix solutions are not really long-lasting, whereas sustainable projects and investing in human resources can actually go a long way. One thing we also want to share is that funds, and in our field is that especially food funds and food aids are not long-lasting and will last as long as they are available. And the most amazing discovery of all is that the world actually generates enough food for everyone. Another way we tried to learn is by doing. So we learn by doing, and one thing we discover is that whenever you want to plan something, always assess and never assume. No matter who your target audience is, one thing you have to keep in mind is that you have to ask this audience what they think might be what they need, and then assess that. Another thing we learn is that you always have to keep an eye on the eye whenever you're recruiting supporters or volunteers. At Food Blessed, our food blessers or volunteers are amongst our most valuable asset. And we always inform, invest, and involve them. When I say inform, it means that when you want to involve the community in whatever you're doing, one thing you want to do first is to raise awareness about your project or your cause. After you've got people interested, you have to train them by investing in them. And once you've got people who have the skills that you need to push your cause forward, you have to provide them with volunteering opportunities whereby they can feel that they can be involved with your cause. And when you involve, try to involve everyone. And by everyone, I mean every single one. In the subject of food waste, pretty much every stakeholder has a role to play, be it the food producer, the food consumer, the supermarket, the retailers, the local shops, even the national and world leaders. So I'm not a superhero, and I don't even look like Clark Kent. This failed. But I do save lives every day. And I believe that the time to act is now, and that the power of now is so intense. And that when you look at the world around you, you can see that food prices are only getting higher, that we are only getting a lot louder, and wasting food makes no sense, not economically, not environmentally, and not morally. You can be a hunger hero too. And after the lessons that I've shared with you, I believe that one thing you can do starting now is to follow these 3 simple golden rules. 1, never shop for food on an empty stomach. 2, always plan your meals ahead of time. And 3, use your leftovers, all of them. This is us, Food Blessed. We think that if you believe that you want to change the world by just doing the simple things, because it's really the small little things that make the biggest difference, you can follow the rules I shared with you, and you can also give us a shout whenever, and we'll be more than happy to share more tips with you. Thank you. Okay. One last one.
Thank you, Maya, for sharing with us all about